guys, it's Talisha and I'm filming a day in a life for you guys. So I wake up at 5 a.m. when I'm having to feed Jep before work. This is me just attempting to wake up. I get into whatever I'm wearing to work, which is normally a pair of riding pants like tights or jodhpurs, sometimes jeans depending on what the plan is at work for the day, and then my polo and jumpers. So because I'm going to Jep straight after work, I will grab some lunch, which is pasta today, and I normally go and have my breakfast at my room. My typical breakfast is one of these squeezy yogurts, which I think are honestly kids' yogurts, but I don't eat much when I'm up early, so that's what I eat. Brush my teeth. I don't feed Bambi and Kai in the morning. Mum gives them hay, and then I make up their lunch feeds, which she will also give them if I'm going straight to Jep, just so it's easier. And then normally by 6 o'clock I am leaving on my way to Jep and to feed her. I don't feed her every morning. It kind of depends as to what the owner of the property is up to and if she needs me to. So it is getting cold here, so I put my seat warmer on and my heater on, and then I'm on my way to Jep. I will also say bye to Kai and Bambi. There's Kai staring at me like, can I have my food now? No, Kai, too early for your feed. And then there's Bambi over in the distance. Hi. So I will feed them in the morning if I'm not doing Jep, but because this morning I am, Mum chucks them hay when she gets up because it's just easier that way, and they get fed a little bit later that way because I don't want them getting fed too early in the morning. And yeah, so here I am driving down my driveway and about to leave Jep. Well, to Jep, I should say. Jep isn't a long drive from my house. It's normally a max of 10 minutes, so it's a pretty easy drive in the mornings, which is nice. My windows were dirty, which was why I decided to spray them with water then. But yeah, so daylight savings has just ended, which means it is actually getting lighter earlier but darker sooner. So normally when I arrive at Jep's, it is light. This morning was a bit foggy, but I have sunlight, which is nice. And I made up both Jep and Gov. Gov is the horse that she's paddocked with. Their feeds the night before to make it easier for me in the mornings. And yeah, so then I just walk down to their paddocks with their pre-made feeds ready to feed them. Depending on what the weather's supposed to be on the day, I will change their rugs, but today's weather was supposed to be fairly cool, so I left their winter rugs on. And I bring Jep into a separate little paddock to eat her food, just so her and Gov don't fight over their feeds, because they're both sassy chestnut horses. He's a big sassy chestnut gelding. She's a little sassy chestnut mare. It's just easier this way. And Jep isn't on much feed at the moment because she's got quite a bit of grass. She's pretty much just on a scoop of her senior because otherwise she gets way too fat. So yeah, that's all I have to do in the morning for those two. Then I head straight to work, and for my job I started off at this position a couple years ago, I think now, and I started off as a track rider, so I work at a racehorse stud and I do all the track work, and then I moved on to doing a bit of mare and foal handling and bits and pieces like that. Then I moved on to sales side, so pretty much I do a bit of everything from yearling sales to yearling prep, mare sales, mare prep, foal handling and foal training, weaning and weanling handling, all of that stuff, and normal stuff with the racehorses and the pre-trainers. I literally do everything on this farm. It is great. So I've been able to work at all aspects of the farm and get experience on every possible area I can, and I work sales and do all of that stuff, so it's a lot of fun. So I obviously don't film while I work because, for obvious reasons, for privacy, to respect my employers, and because I'm working. So this is the last clip you'll get, which is me walking into the feed shed, which is where all of the staff meet in the morning before we start work and get any information we need and plans for the day on all aspects of the farm. And there's our barn cat Mutti. Now, fast forward, and I'm back at Jep. So I work from 7 till 12, and then I go straight to Jep if I am working her. Today I am lunging her. But yeah, so my hours at work vary. At the moment, due to Corona, I'm working 7 till 12. In the busy seasons, I will work 7 till 3, and I have pretty much the same routine. I just go later on throughout the day/night, which is good because as soon as daylight savings ends and it gets lighter sooner, typically is when I go back down to working from 7 till 12. So it works best for my horses and my study, and normally in the summer I will work till 3. So that was me also showing off how shiny Jep is. And here I'm lunging her. But yeah, so my hours originally at work started from 7 till 12 because I was just working with the racehorses and the pre-trainers in riding, and they would only get ridden from 7 till 12. And because I was employed as a rider, that was the only hours I needed to do. And then when I started working on more aspects of the farm, I obviously started to be needed more. So when we have our yearling sales, they need me for longer hours, and it just works really well for my schedule and stuff to do those longer hours in summer. And then when it goes back into winter, I go back to my original hours when we are quiet on farm and don't have any sales, or just have a couple mare sales and not many horses around. But yeah, so Jep is lunged. She doesn't get lunged with any gear on. She always gets lunged just with the rope, and that's it, because that's all she needs. She doesn't need any assistance or training tools or anything like that, and she stretches out herself. So now I go back home to work the other 2 horses. By the way, I realized I didn't film myself having lunch. That's because I pretty much I eat on the way to Jep. I'm very quick with everything that I do, and I just want everything to be done. So if I can make something a little bit quicker before I work a horse or something, that's what I do. So I've just arrived home, and I don't waste any time. I go straight out to my next horse and just keep going. I like to get the horses done and not waste time, so I have more time after they've been worked to do different things. So yeah, here I'm parking my car. How exciting. And then here I am coming inside. I will change into riding boots. I have my work riding boots, which stay in the car, and they're the ones they're the ones I use for work and stuff like that. And then I have my home riding boots, which I would have gotten into now. Saying hi to the ponies. They would have already had their lunch feed by the time I'm grabbing both of them too. So the first horse I'm working out of these 2 is Bambi, and Bambi's just getting lunged today as well, which is easy and handy. Showing off shiny pony number 2. Lovely shiny coat. And Kai and Bambi are so obsessed with each other, so they are literally always right next to each other. Yes, shiny tail. So shiny. So shiny. Yeah, so Kai and Bambi are obsessed with each other, and if they can be right on top of each other, they always will be. I've never seen 2 horses so in love with each other. It's so nice to see that they get on so well. Hi. He just loves her and she loves him. It's such a cute relationship. Good little Kai. And yeah, so then Kai decided he'd help me groom Bambi. So I thought I'd film a little bit, and then he stopped as soon as I started filming, of course. But anyway, moving on, I start carrying Bambi. Kai does the other side for me, and then decides to groom her mane for me too. Thank you, Kai, for your help. It's very kind of you. And this is what Bambi wears when she lunges. So she has the lunge roller and side rein. So these side reins are very stretchy elastic. As you can see, they have quite a bit of slack in them as well. They're flopping around. They're not tight on her. And the reason she is lunged in side reins is actually a recommendation from my coach, and that's because when I got Bambi, she really struggled with her canter, meaning she would get her front end and not follow through with her hind end, so she would be disunited, and this was what would happen pretty much 80 to 90% of the time when I asked her to canter, whether it be on the lunge or under saddle. So she has to really be through her back. She's actually improved a lot more now, and she doesn't really have to be as collected because this lunge work has strengthened her up so much. And it was just weakness. She was just really weak. And this lunge work has worked miracles with her, and she has not gotten her canter messed up for weeks now. It is amazing. So she has to really be through her back and just engaging herself to be able to bring her hind end through with her front end, which, you know, makes a lot of sense. So this just helps strengthen her back, and she has the option to put her head up in the air and above the bit, which she's starting to do now. And as you can see, again, side reins flopping around, there's no tension on the side reins. They're just there as a guide and, you know, helping her. And I put the lunge rope through and attach it to this lunge roller just so I can also adjust pressure and release, which works really, really well. And as you can see by the end, she starts to lower her head, which is something she used to never offer because she just found it too hard and she was too weak to be able to stretch down. So yeah, the lunge work has worked miracles with her, and I do it once or twice a week. And it was what she benefited more from than riding to begin with. Yeah, so obviously I washed Bambi, and now we're on to Kai, shiny pony number 3. Kai is ridiculously shiny, which is crazy considering this horse has not been washed for, I don't even know. I can't remember the last time he was washed. He's probably been hosed like a couple weeks ago, but proper washed ages. So he's in his typical little stock horse gear because he's a little stock horse. And I'm riding Kai. So Kai was the only horse that needed to be ridden on this day. I make my schedules a week prior as to what horse is getting what each day and what days they're on breaks, etc. I had no one to film, so I filmed myself because I have the quietest, best behaved 3-year-old on the planet. I've taught Kai how to neck rein too. So riding him one-handed is typically how I ride him most of the time. So cantering around all one-handed. He's just such a chill little dude. And here I do some stops. I do a canter to a halt soon. I don't know when. There. And he's a little pro, and then I strike off in a right lead halt to canter. He's 3. How cool is he? Doing this all one-handed, and he's doing his circles, he's doing his figure eights, and another halt. How perfect is he? He's such a good little baby. So I did a proper ride with him, honestly. Oh, there's another walk to canter. Obviously did a proper full ride with him and worked on long and low and getting him to react to the contact, and he was awesome, but I didn't have anyone to film that, so I thought I'd just film some fun little things on his back for you guys to see what we were doing. I left him without his rug on because he wasn't very sweaty. He just had a little bit of marks, but he was very itchy, so I was like, oh, I'll let him go roll and have a scratch, and he just wanted to be with me. So now, by the time I've finished, it's 3 or 3:30, and now is when I study. So I typically spend about an hour doing assignments or whatever I need to do relating to my course, and on this night in particular, I finished at 4:45. And then I went out to do the chickens because Dad was working late tonight. Typically he does the chickens, but on this day, because he works late, I do them for him. So I give them some bread and then I give them some seed. And I will then check their water and check their eggs and take their eggs inside if they have laid any eggs, which they had. I think they had laid 3. Let's see. Take them out, Talisha. Yes, 3 eggs. Then I go inside, put them in the basket, and now is typically when I have my shower. So now I am in my pajamas, I wash my hair, I'm all fresh and in my trackies and socks. And normally by this time it's about 5:30-ish, and then I give the 2 horses their nighttime hay. And the reason I don't have to go back to Jep at all is because on this day, the owner of the property was doing the horses in the afternoon for me. So, yay. And Bambi gets her windsucking collar on at night because although we have never seen her windsuck since she's been with Kai, we can't watch her obviously during the night, so it's just a precautionary thing. And then I spend my night watching YouTube for a bit. Now is when I go on social media, normally Instagram. I check any DMs, and and just things that have been going on, you know. And then I check emails. I'm covering most of it, like the names obviously for privacy reasons. And then I edit for a bit after I've sat down. So now it is 6 o'clock and I've just done a little bit of editing, and now I feed the dogs. Willow actually gets some TuffRock PK9JF supplement just because she has some issues with her hips, and this is a joint supplement for dogs which has actually worked really, really well for her, and she's starting to feel much better through her hips. My horses and one of my dogs are on TuffRock supplements for their joints. It is so, so good. So here I am feeding Willow. So typically my days normally don't finish with me ending with the horses at 3:30 either. I normally am going until dark most times, not all the time, it just kind of depends, but because I was only riding Kai this day, obviously it ended a lot quicker, but on days where I'm riding all three of them, I normally probably finish around 5, so as it's starting to get dark now that daylight savings has ended. But yeah, so this is just on a quieter day pretty much. On this night I'd take away Thai for dinner, and then after dinner I spend my night watching Netflix or YouTube with whatever animals choose to sleep on my bed. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. If you want to see more or a busier day in my life where I'm riding all 3 horses, let me know and I'll see what I can do. Alright, bye!